place to get the news. You're right here. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Absolutely right. The one place you can get your news is the Blue Broadcast Channel. That's right, folks. You're getting your news from the BBC. Tell your grandmother you get your news from the BBC. Tell your sexy coworkers you get your news from the BBC, and they can also get it from. Don't tell your dog.
Tell your dog.
Don't tell your dog. Your dog knows. Let me tell you something. You're
so that's so bashful. Your dog knows.
Your dog knows. Let me tell you something. Your dog knows that you're getting your news from the BBC. Okay, they know for sure. Little pow wow woof woof. Let me see that Shawn Cee video. It was pretty cool actually. So I like Shawn Cee. He's a streamer as well.
Hey, I'm back again, covering the beef that'll never end. You couldn't have told.
All right, guys, this is Shawn Cee. He's fucking great. He's got a great YouTube page where he does his clips from his live stream. It's I don't think it's from a live stream at all, but called Shawn Cee Live. He's also on Twitch. Really great creator. Check him out. Yeah, I mean.
Told me last March when this whole thing started that we'd still be talking about it almost a year later. And not in the traditional sense that, like, the battle was so historic that we have to keep talking about it. I'm speaking from the POV of there being constant updates to something like this. And again, not in the traditional sense where you'd expect them to still be going back and forth. No, the discourse around this beef is consistently moving forward due to Drake's legal actions. That's right. Drake has officially filed a federal lawsuit against UMG, accusing them of...
That just sounds crazy. Like, I can't think of the most
It's so, like, that's such a cowardly move. That's such a, like, you're, like, admitting you lose when you're like,
100%.
Hey, legal, step in for me.
I'm like, it would be like, because it's so on hip hop, it would be like a rock and roller, you know what I mean, from like the 80s being like, calling the hotel. So, I heard the other band was trashing your hotel. Like, what are we talking about? You know, like what's happening?
Artificially inflating interest in Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us," and also suing for defamation. One of these cases in Texas, and one of these cases in New York. Now, not long ago, there was hysteria because Drake withdrew his original filings against UMG. Now we know that was
Every time you're eating pussy, you're eating yourself some pusillanimous.
Nope, that's different.
No, I don't know, man. I feel like I got it. Penis guy said, it's crazy. Like, does he know how rap works? Yo, it's so...
It seems like he does not.
And you know what's so crazy? But see, it's so funny because I know a lot about Drake, and like he is what you would call a student of the game, right? Like you can tell he's someone that like methodically, like a nerd. And I don't even mean that in a negative way, but like a nerd, like studies like hip hop, right? But it's like the difference between someone that like is like enamored and maybe obsessed with the culture, but not from the culture. You know what I mean? Like that's it, which is crazy because he's been a part of hip hop for so long. But like it, like. It's no different than like, you know, some of you guys who went to school with like an all white school and like the one kid that's like really obsessed with like fucking 50 Cent and G Unit and like, oh, you know, 50, he got shot. Like, it's like, okay, bud, like fucking calm down a little bit. The parallel
it makes me think of a little bit that's maybe a little more accessible for people who aren't POC is like the anime nerd.
Oh my, yeah, 100%. Like yes, yeah, no, that's really good because it's like versus like an actual Japanese person from Japan. You know what I mean? Like a white guy calls himself an otaku, where it's like, okay, calm down,
and like,
bud.
Sure, they understand the history. They know they can understand the language even. Yep. They like can replicate it.
Yes.
They sort of know what it is.
Yeah. But like I'm still looking at a white guy speaking Japanese to me, right? And this is the thing, like Drake is obviously black, but like, and this is something I don't think is talked about enough, like hip hop especially in its roots is like a black American thing, right? Like and Drake is like, although his father is a black American, right? So his black part of his heritage is from black America. He is distinctly not raised like as a black American. I mean, he was distinctly raised by his white Jewish Canadian mother.
I was gonna say that he was Canadian.
Yeah. But his father is from I think Houston or something like that. You know what I mean? It's one of those weird things. So like, and you see this a lot with with mixed kids, like they struggle, especially if they have a strained relationship with their fathers or don't have a relationship with fathers, and their fathers are the black ones. So like there's like a cultural disconnect, especially a man, Drake, who's like 40, right? So you figure he's 40. You talk about a kid born in the 80s, right? And you're talking about like a white woman who was born in like the 60s or 50s, right? You know what I mean? So like, as cool as she may be, enough to get pregnant by a black man, right? Like there's still a very different cultural disconnect than you would even have in the situation today, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Preparation to file an official lawsuit. Sometimes against my better judgment, I have historically afforded Drake grace in situations where some people were immediately against him. Generally, this grace has been afforded in response to Drake's intellect. There were quite a few times I was wrong during the back and forth with him and Kendrick, assuming that he was a little bit more intelligent to them making certain moves within their back and forth. Another thing that I think is new in this lawsuit is harassment. I don't remember originally seeing harassment be a part of the filings a month ago, but all I keep seeing is his fans constantly say he has such a strong case, and I just don't see where. But his fans I'm going to read some of the official documentation in the lawsuit to see maybe where Drake's angle is on all of this, because I'm just as confused as everybody else. It states, in the middle of the night on May 7th, an armed group of assailants drove up to the Toronto house in which Drake and his family resided. Drake was inside. The car stopped in front of the residence and someone yelled, "Fuck Drake," and at least one gunman began to open fire. One bullet went through the security gate and hit Drake's front door. Another bullet struck and wounded a security guard who was also one of Drake's friends. While the car drove away, Drake and the others in the house summoned for the security guard and did everything possible to keep him alive. For those who don't know, there was a shooting at Drake's residence in Toronto where people speculated it may have at some point been due to a feud with him and Abel's manager, Cash.
So, but the funny thing about this is, like, this doesn't even really have anything to do with Kendrick Lamar and UMG. This has to do with a beef between him and The Weeknd, who are both from Toronto. His manager, who was from Toronto. Listen. Why? And also, like, it's one of those funny things too, where it's like, and I love The Weeknd. The Weeknd is probably my favorite R&B singer. But like, imagine how soft you are that like you're getting shot at by an R&B singer that sounds like Michael Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so cool. Like, you're getting bullied out by The Weeknd. And let me tell you something, Abel, if you're watching this, I love you, brother. And I know, listen, I know you're with the shits. You know what I mean? I'm just saying from a perspective. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't want no problem with EXO. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm EXO all day long. So you ain't got to worry about that, brother.
I don't have anything to validate that. That just was at one point a rumor, insinuating that it may have been some level of instigation from Drake's part, since there were shots thrown at The Weeknd and EXO from Drake on the track Family Matters. That may or may not be relevant here, I don't know. I just thought it was important to bring up. To summarize these next few paragraphs, that's essentially what this is about. The very next day, May 8th, and this wasn't reported, I've never heard this before, a different intruder used his bare hands to dig a hole under the security fence surrounding Drake's Toronto house. He managed to dig deep enough to squeeze through and enter Drake's property. Fortunately, Drake's home security guards caught him before he was able to cause any physical harm, although the trespasser managed to yell racist slurs and threats against Drake before being escorted off the property.
I can't imagine, like, as a security guard, like, catching a guy who, like, dug under the gate like a cartoon dog. You know what I mean? Actually crazy. I
also, like, how was he, like, unseen long enough to make a hole that deep?
A human-sized hole.
A human-sized hole under a gate, a fence? And, like, nobody... No one saw.
Maybe he needs to get better security, if I'm being honest with you.
Maybe
that's
this
actually
guy just
crazy.
digs really quick. Maybe they tried.
On May 9th, the very next day, another break-in happened. In the 2 decades leading up to May of 2024, although Drake was constantly in the public eye, nothing remotely like these events had ever happened to him or his family. But these events were not coincidental, so Drake believes. They immediately followed and were proximately caused by UMG's actions leading up to and on May 4th, 2024. UMG is the world's largest music company, and also the music company that has represented Drake for more than a decade. Yet on May 4th, 2024, UMG approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track that falsely accuses Drake of being a pedo and calls for violent retribution against him. Even though UMG...
Oh, what's so crazy about it for me, too, is that, like, the way the song Not Like Us, it didn't drop on streaming service immediately. Like, it dropped on YouTube. Like, a lot of this beef was happening on YouTube, like, just being uploaded before they got released, right? So, it's like, what are we talking about? A coordinated effort. You know, it's this whole angle by him is actually fucking crazy. I don't think...
It's so self...
Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, you think Lucien Grange was like... Hey, Kendrick, you think you can call Drake a PDF file?
We should plan for this.
That's so crazy. That's actually crazy.
Tactile strategy.
And, like, even if, like, yeah, I can believe that guys that run corporations are evil. Even though I can believe that. Can I believe that Kendrick Lamar is like, oh, yeah, sure, buddy. Kendrick Lamar, Duckworth. You think I believe that he picked up Lucien Grange's phone call and said, yeah, bud, I could definitely do that. What are you, crazy?
Enriched itself and its shareholders by exploiting Drake's music for years and knew that the salacious allegations against Drake were false, UMG chose corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artists. Now, this is the point of...
I love it when hyper-capitalists start using, like, revolutionary language. You know what I mean? Like, they put the corporate greed over my... Shut up. You don't care about that. You don't.
I have with Aubrey. This whole lawsuit. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. At what point are we going to hold the artists who are making these records accountable? If you wanted to sue someone for defamation or harassment, I would say that you'd have a stronger claim against...
Yeah, exploit his music for profit. It's because, like, listen, and Kippers, it's funny to me, too, because, like, listen, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, the music industry is the worst. I mean, you talk about the extremist version of capitalism. I mean, like, you talk about a entity that does nothing but, like, put out a meager amount of capital to either help facilitate the creation or promotion of music that is created by one or a group of people and then literally take full ownership, right? Like, does almost no parts of the means of the production and takes 100% of the profits while giving you some meager amount of, like, pre-bonus. It's actually nuts. But Aubrey Drake Graham has he's been out of contracts for like he would get out of his contracts just to, like a basketball player, leverage himself to be signed into a bigger, extremely larger fucking you are in the at any point Drake could have after a couple years gone independent when he was at the biggest of his career, and instead he used the fact that he's the biggest in his career to leverage a larger contract from UMG. And in fact, his negotiation now, he was trying to get ownership in UMG. So, like, all of this is like, brother, if this hadn't gone wrong, you'd be sitting at the table with them, taking money from everyone, you know? Yeah, 100% Kippers, 100%.
Against somebody like Kendrick Lamar, as opposed to UMG, who isn't supposed to censor what their artists are saying before they platform their music. I think labels in general do take risks when it comes to signing artists, when it comes to promoting and distributing their music, because you never fully know what the artist that you're signing is going to end up saying. You're having faith in the history of their artistry in hopes that they won't say anything inciting violence against anyone, but that is the work of the law if they say something or do something within their music that breaks any laws. A lot of y'all know what self-snitching is, and it's a concept in which an artist that does a crime goes in the booth, raps about it, and then goes to prison. Are the labels then supposed to be held accountable for publishing music that the artist makes and gets themselves in trouble with? Are they then going to be held responsible?
Yeah.
Is the law...
Shawn Cee, did you ever think that, yes, because the music, they're like my babysitter, and they are legally responsible for me.
Duh.
How about, and don't do it again, okay?
Are then going to start coming after labels because they rapped about XYZ? I don't really think that's their job to get in the way of whatever message or idea an artist might.
In fact, I feel like I'm owed compensation by the record label for every time I've drunkenly text my ex.
I think That's fair.
I feel like I need some, not only compensation, but like some pain and suffering payout, if I'm being honest
I would
with you.
agree with that 100%. I'm a lawyer.
Might be promoting in their music, whether it's good or bad. I think that's up to the artist to determine whether or not the risk is worth the reward. Also, this insinuation that UMG is supposed to know what is real versus what isn't about whatever artist says whatever about any person is ridiculous. Was Family Matters not also published under UMG, where Drake accuses Kendrick Lamar of beating his wife, not being the father to his children? And I know one accusation.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. It is crazy. Like, it's the pot calling the kettle black for sure. I mean, he's basically like, I'm sad that you didn't magically make me win the beef, guys. Actually, it's like, well, I guess because no one did, bud. Hate to tell you what that means, though. Kippers, yeah, a class action lawsuit in the work. Listen, we can all get a little bit of change for texting our ex.
Is societally viewed as significantly worse than the other. That's why Drake is going on this whole press tour about how much trouble and damage he's been given from Not Like Us. So I get that the stakes are different, but the action is the same. He's pretending like UMG prioritized Kendrick Lamar in this instance and had this entire press tour against Drake when they basically sat on the fence the entire time and watched y'all throw darts at each other from across it. Does UMG now know Kendrick Lamar well enough to determine whether or not he actually threatened his wife? What do you, I don't get this. They knew it was false. Like, how, what do you mean they know? Now we get to the song in question, Not Like Us, written and performed by...
Putting, like, an unreasonable restriction on, like, how do you know what's art? How do you know what's satire? How do you know what's
absolutely
accusation?
I mean, like, if you look at it, like I think about R. Kelly, right? Who was signed to a label, who discovered Aaliyah, who was a literal fucking child, and like wrote her songs like age ain't nothing but a number, right? Like, you know what I mean? There are far more egregious cases of artists doing nefarious shit in music than someone calling out your weird behavior.
Called me a mean name, and I didn't like it because everybody agreed.
And also, like, brother, you said to him on record, like, tell him that I like little girls. Like, use that angle. Like, you said it.
I don't think we have a case.
I was just listening to you.
I don't think we have a case.
I'm listening to you, brother.
By Kendrick Lamar. The recording was intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation that Drake is a pedo, and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. The recording is defamatory because its lyrics, its album image, and its music video all advance the false and malicious narrative that Drake is a pedo. The lyrics repeatedly accuse Drake of engaging in criminal acts, including by calling him a certified pedo and a predator who needs to be placed on neighborhood watch.
Okay,
the image was designed to reinforce...
That's just a turn of phrase. Ask the food companies.
Sometimes you gotta certify, you know? If he can be
certified, it's just a catchphrase. Wasn't saying it was certified by anybody. There's no, they're making their own assumptions there.
If Drake can say that he's a certified lover boy, then Kendrick can say he's a certified pedophile.
Did he get certified by somebody?
I don't think he did.
Then we've learned the word certified is meaningless.
I don't think he did.
Hey, stop.
I don't think he did.
And in fact reinforces the accusation by depicting Drake's actual Toronto house covered in the icons that are known to be used by law enforcement to identify child offenders on the internet. The video bolsters the same message by, for example, showing images associating with trafficking and juxtaposing the game of hopscotch with lyrics accusing Drake of trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. It definitely reinforces this narrative, but it doesn't factually say anything. It doesn't directly state anywhere in the song that Drake is any of.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. You're certified for a lot of things. Being a lover boy is not one of them.
Who certified you?
Yeah, what was their name?
Any of these things. It speaks on the narrative that Drake likes younger women, and he was actually seen on stage as a 24 or 25-year-old man kissing a girl that was at the time 17. Now, do I think that immediately means...
Oh, did you not know about that?
I did not.
So he was...
Huh?
Oh, fuck. Hold on, let me see if I can find this video. It's so awkward. P, I can't believe you're making me show you this. It's so
I'm not
awkward.
making you do anything.
Oh, man, hold on. God, hold on. Drake, 17-year-old on stage. Oh,
all the pictures I see of Drake remind me of Facebook circa.
Thank you so much.
Hold on. No, it's longer than I need it. It's longer than just Yeah, here we go.
Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV.
Salute to the Young Turks. I mean, they be having some wild takes, but they started a song.
R. Kelly, Under the Gun, new documentary, a little bit questionable.
Careful.
Let's take a look.
Look at this.
Okay, so
hard to watch. Wait, did you just kiss her cheek?
No, he definitely kissed her on the lip for sure. Hold on, wait.
I mean, even if he didn't, I
or maybe he did kiss her on the cheek.
It does look like a cheek kiss, but
well, I think the problem is so skeevy. The problem is that like you did it after you found out she was 17. You know what I mean?
I feel like the problem is standing on a stage in front of however many people and telling a teenager
so weird
about how her breasts touching your chest felt.
Yeah. It's like, cause like
while she's standing there spotlit on a stage, being aggressively, like explicitly objectified.
Yeah.
Hey, careful! You gotta stop. Objectified, and it was like sidestepping sexualization, but we all know it was there.
Yeah, 100%.
When he said, "Oh my God, you're gonna make me go to jail."
Yeah, that's what Kippers just said. 100%. It's like, and this is the thing, right? Like, obviously he didn't know she was 17 when she first came on stage, right? And then okay, funny joke, not funny, but funny joke. Like, whoa, I did not know you were 17, right? Like, whoa, I do not want to go to jail. Perfectly fine, right? And soon as he's like, well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I should feel bad or guilty because your titties feel so good on me. Yeah, no, not at all.
He
not
was
at
like,
all.
I can tell that legally there's supposed to be a boundary here.
And he's like, but I don't want to. I want you to know that even though you're a minor, I'm horny for you. The problem is a febophilia. Listen. Listen, my favorite debate pervetry is as soon as like people start going like, "Wow, it's a febophilia." It's like, hey man, we have crossed into some boundaries I can't be in. You know.
We're done with that. Yeah, it just the entire like. It was like the position. There's a huge power dynamic there when you are a star that people have come to see, especially a young girl.
Yep.
Coming
100%.
to see and like probably idolizing you if they walk up
100%.
and being like, oh, you make me feel things that may be bad.
Yes. That's the part of the acknowledge. It's just like, listen, there's a way as a showman that you could do something like that that's not like gross and like, you know what I mean? But like, cause like if if I was 17 and fucking Beyonce put me on stage, right, it would be like, whoa, yeah, I mean, like, I can't believe it, but like it gets real weird. If Beyonce was like, damn, I don't know how I should feel bad, but the way your dick felt on my thigh, like, that shit just really had me moist. Like, that would be fucking crazy.
Yeah. And, like, she's not gonna really, I mean, I don't know now, but, like, like, anyone in that moment is gonna be like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, this is the best thing ever, yeah.
Like, thinks I'm hot. And then, what, years later, maybe not even that long, maybe hours later, is like, oh, haha, everybody just saw me get...
Yes, 100%. Everyone just saw Drake say how big my titties were. That's weird.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And like, you listen, 23, and like, if this was his only thing, but like,
and also like, long time ago,
he was young,
he's a baby,
and he wasn't that big, of a star yet either, right?
And like, it was long enough ago that like we didn't really have this kind of
100%,
social awareness yet, or like interest.
And I could even chalk some of it being like, you're a showman, so you're like, this is clearly a fan. You're trying.
Hadn't quite found the lines yet.
My nigga, you knew how old Millie Bobby Brown was.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, none of those excuses really land.
Yeah.
You could try, but none of that pasta sticking to the wall.
Nah, real bad. Real bad. This is so funny. Holy cow.
Is that Drake likes prepubescent children? No, I don't. But you're speaking on a song reinforcing...
First of all, if you have to say it, it's just a bad spot to be in,
A narrative that has only been in existence because of your actions regarding young girls. A narrative that has been so popular and relevant that you spoke on it before Kendrick Lamar ever did. I'm not one of these people that seems to think that because Drake said in Tailor Made, talk about him liking young girls, that Drake knew that this would be the outcome. But that is the first time that this ever came up. And it wasn't a point of contention for no reason.
The first time it came up, the whole, Drake likes young girls in the beef was Drake saying it in the voice of AI Tupac.
I forgot about that, too.
Yeah.
So gross.
Yeah.
Like these rumors started out of nowhere. People have had public examples of you having what some would consider odd relationships with young women. The only thing that's factual in that song is Kendrick Lamar even posing the question that Baca has a weird case, which he in fact does. The lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us, of course, because your pride wouldn't allow you to sue Kendrick Lamar, who you would undoubtedly have a much stronger case against than UMG. And when I say much stronger, I don't mean he would win or even get anywhere. I'm just saying that it would be more reasonable to sue the man that actually wrote the lyrics as opposed to the company that allowed him to release it. It is instead entirely about UMG, the company that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false but dangerous. Again, this narrative that UMG knows that this is going on in an artist's personal life versus this, and they can confidently speak on what is or isn't real is ridiculous.
Honestly,
to me. You expect them to know every inch of every artist that they've signed's personal life, and also censor anything that doesn't go along with what they do or don't know. The remainder of this goes on for a lengthy amount of time, talking about what UMG probably did, and them having a campaign, and Drake's belief that there was this effort to push Not Like Us to sully his image. Do I think there has been undoubtedly a hit to Drake's public image and his reputation? 100%. This is also the risk you run when you get into a rap battle or beef with anyone. Unless you're confident in your ability to win, it's probably not best to entertain it, especially when you ignorantly tell your opponent to talk about you liking young girls, then get mad when he does that, and get even angrier at the company that you're both under approving the release of that.
It's just like, I think he couldn't believe that people would believe it. That's, I think, the funniest part about it, right? The hubris. The irony is that like Drake said a lot of the inflammatory stuff about Kendrick Lamar, but no one thinks that Kendrick Lamar beat his wife, and no one thinks that Kendrick Lamar's son is not his.
So do we think that's because he is so unself-aware, or because he's so stupid?
God, he's so
and stupid. They're different. Those are different things. Where he is self-aware and he's I do that shit, but I'm so beloved that who would dare think poorly of me? Or is he I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I think it's definitely hubris. It's weird. I gotta run to the can you man the you can man it. You just hit space bar. It'll We'll play the video. You can man it.
I can play the video.
You got it. Talk to him about the cultural inaptitudes of Drake.
Talk to them about what?
Yeah, you got it, man. I have faith in you.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about this stuff.
He's half white.
Yeah, but he's half not. I'm all white.
Talk about the other half.
After the attacks on his home, Drake pulled his son out of the elementary school he attended in Toronto due to safety concerns.
Obviously,
and
no
once school
girlfriends.
ended for the summer.
People at this level just end up like they're only surrounded by sycophants. And I don't really know where he started. Like, I remember him from Degrassi, but I don't know where he started before that. And trying to, I don't know, assert his value in, I mean, this isn't even like a realm, an arena of like merit. It's just like, man.
Drake arranged for his son and mother to leave Toronto entirely. Day to day, Drake continues to take steps to address persistent threats to his security. And I don't doubt this. I don't think that Drake's family or Drake himself should be attacked for the maniacal nature of what fans can generally try to interject and do. No one ever told anyone to attack Drake. No one told anyone to go to his house. No one told anyone to attack his family. As we continue reading line after line within this document, you see that Drake's kind of laying out some of the groundwork to paint a history of the relationship that UMG and himself have had since 2009. It goes over Kendrick's deal with Top Dawg, and it introduces the possibility that there was a new contract signed with UMG and Kendrick Lamar in December of 2024. It also alleges that UMG's contracts with Kendrick Lamar provided UMG with the right to prevent the publication of and or to insist on modifications to any material created by Kendrick, including but not limited to any content which UMG believes to be defamatory. This is like the least hip-hop thing I've ever seen in my life. First, I don't believe Drake has any right to sue, because no matter how many times this narrative and point that UMG has the ability to censor but refuses to, does not justify them all of a sudden saying, Kendrick, you gotta change XYZ simply because Drake asked them to. Especially
also, like, I'm really far removed from this. Didn't he start all of this? Like, from the beginning, didn't this only start, like, because of him? Like, didn't he tip that first domino?
When Drake also was the same guy to put this I like little girl shit in Kendrick's head in the first place. Then we have Drake and his team within the same lawsuit breaking down the lyrics in Not Like Us, and I know that this was triggering as fuck for him to have to do. Within the first minute, the recording identifies Drake by name and states that Kendrick heard a rumor that Drake has an infatuation with young women. The next line is a thinly veiled threat that Drake should be careful that he never ends up in prison, a place where predators are notoriously the target of violence. You better not ever go to cell block 1. The recording continues to say that any woman who falls in love with Drake should be careful to hide their little sister from him. Next is a perverse reference to Drake's 2021 album Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile. In a play on the dual meaning of minor, a person under the age of 18, and musical scale, the recording says that Drake is trying to strike a chord and is probably A minor. The recording continues to say that Drake and the people in his circle need to be served with a subpoena because a predator moves in flocks, and asserts that Drake's name gotta be registered and placed on neighborhood watch. It all sounds like inferences, innuendos, hints, and jabs at things that you've been accused of in your career up until this point. Sure, nobody ever outright called Drake a pedo before, but people have been talking about, like I said, his dealings with girls that are young and underage for a very long time. You made a song on Jaded about a 20-year-old Georgia Smith and referred to her as a baby. I'm not saying that that means that you like prepubescent girls. I'm just saying that you've helped that narrative spawn what this ultimately is going to end up being within your own music. The recording also repeatedly suggests that violence should be used against Drake because he is a pedo. Like the sound of someone being beaten up, the record repeats wop, 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 and then Lamar will fuck him up. Later, the recording threatens that if Drake comes to Oakland, where Lamar grew up, he will not make it out alive. I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop. This is hilariously removing any level of accountability that Drake would have to have for disrespecting Pac, which is the context in which the whole Oakland show line was even in reference to. This line doesn't even reference Drake and the young girl shit. It's just saying you fucked up when you disrespected the West Coast. I'm not telling nobody to do shit. I'm just telling you it's generally how it goes. If you disrespect a city, they're probably going to have some smoke for you if you go to said city. That's not a threat. That's common sense. At the end of the record, the lyrics threateningly repeat, hey, hey, hey. This shit is ridiculous. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know the first thing I think about when I hear hey, 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 hey off of this Not Like Us record is Bill Cosby. Who we all know what situation he's in. If we're trying to make a correlation here, that's what that's in reference to. Run for your life, Drake. He's not talking to you, I don't think. I think he's talking to the kids. The recording contains numerous additional statements that imply the existence of evidence to support the allegations against Drake. Threatens that Lamar could reveal even more secrets about Drake. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise. Well, welcome to the fucking diss battle. Welcome to the war, Drake. That is what happens. People threaten to have shit. They might not have shit. They might have shit. That's what stirs up anxiety. You saying that he's saying that he has more isn't a crime. The things that Drake said about not only Kendrick Lamar, but every other person that he responded to on Family Matters is fucking crazy. You allege that Rick Ross pays for sexual favors. You allege that someone beats their wife with no evidence. Allege that his children didn't truly come from him and they belong to someone else. And as of recording this, I see that UMG has actually replied to Drake's official lawsuit saying that not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, who would be their biggest cash cow, is illogical. That makes sense to me. UMG's statement read, "We have invested massively in his music, and your employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success." They added, throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists as well. Never did they get in the way of anything that Drake had to say, so why does he want them to get in the way of anything that anybody else has to say? He now seeks to weaponize the legal process and silence other artists' creative expressions and seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. We have not and do not engage in defamation against any individual. At the same time, we will vigorously defend this litigation to protect our people and our reputation, as well as any artists who might directly or indirectly become a frivolous litigation target for having done nothing more than write a song. Again, you're talking to somebody who, as an independent entity, absolutely hates UMG. But I can't ignore the fact that they are making complete sense. There is quite literally nothing that they should have done. Drake, swallow your pride and sue Kendrick. And I'm talking specifically to Drake fans when I ask this question. You have to answer it for me. Why would UMG, who has given Drake so much money and also received so much money as a result of the music that Drake's been making from the infancy of his career, what benefit would it be to UMG, who still needs Drake to sell records on?
By the way, this is like not really about this, but I want to give you some context about that necklace that he's wearing. That necklace is called, I'm pretty sure, 42 Engagements. And it's called that because it was made out of like the 42, each stone was a, it's so fucking, I think it's 42. Each stone was taken from a ring that he bought for a woman that he wanted to get engaged to but didn't, and then he turned it into a necklace.
Why are they all the same?
Because I think he's lying. And the worst part about it, if he's lying, is like, what a lame thing to lie about.
That's also, that would be embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. And why would you say it? Why would you say it? Why would you say it?
Yeah, I got turned down 42 separate times, and I
think it's 42. I should look this up.
Made the best of it by turning it into this fly necklace that doesn't look stupid at all.
Engagement necklace. There we go. Hold on. Let me see. I can't believe I got that number right.
I'm impressed.
Wow. Listen,
all the times you wanted to but didn't.
So he didn't necessarily propose to all of these people, but he I don't know if the implication is that like he just got it made for that, or like he actually went out and bought it. It's absolutely insane to me.
Why would you do that?
What was the video say? Let's see.
Ah.
Enough with the ads. You fucking come on.
Bordering the impossible, an expedition spanning 14 months. Every diamond hand-selected, inspected to only suit perfection. This monumental art piece was assembled using 351.38 carats of diamonds, mounted in 18K white gold.
I have questions.
Each stone meticulously set.
Why?
Why, indeed? Why,
Utilizing
indeed?
the eagle claw technique. Previous engagements, for all the times he thought about it, but never did. A true wonder of the jewelry world,
did he, like, take a
presented by Alex Moss, New York, and Drake.
He was like,
Listen, and this is the thing, right?
February.
And that's the thing about,
12th.
right? Like,
It was a Tuesday. I thought about proposing again, but I didn't.
Listen, and I know for a fact Drake is getting far more coochie than I am. I know for a fact. But is he getting so much coochie that he is like sleeping with and falling in love so deeply?
Maybe it's one person that he's afraid of getting married to. And every time the thought crossed his mind, he put down a tally.
It's just like,
you don't do that. You don't tally all the times you're like, I think I'd like to get married to this one person. Tally. I better put that in the notebook.
let me ask you a question. How many could you make? How many diamonds would be in your necklace if you made a necklace about how many times?
How many times it crossed my mind to propose to somebody?
Yeah.
7.
But
I'm being really generous with what I'm classing as crossed my mind to propose to somebody. And also, I'm a female, so I've been socialized to think about weddings a disproportionate amount.
That's very true. Kipper said, how many of those are the same person? I mean, you gotta figure at least 10 of them are Rihanna for sure. But yeah, that's to me, that's.
I think it's weird that he would. So like, if I'm really thinking about it, 7 feels generous.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And that's a super vague number because I don't sit there and contemplate proposing.
This is also this is an extremely famous person, like with like a handful of like famous girlfriends.
He picked a random number.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm so fixated on like every time he thought of proposing.
But didn't. And like, I think
these very specific metrics.
Now let me ask you a question. Would it have been worse if he had went out and bought diamonds 42 times and then didn't return them and made it into a thing? Or is it worse, the reality, which is that he went to a jeweler and was like, I got this idea.
Well, it depends. Is it that he went out and bought jewelry and then didn't propose or was turned down?
Yeah,
separate.
Right.
If it was turned down, I'd be like, that's kind of a cool spite project. But also humiliating that you would have been turned down for an engagement and 42 separate times, whether it's the same person or not.
By the way, it sounds like what it says that it's for each time that he thought about it.
Right. So it sounds like he picked a random number. And he was like, what could this be? What would make a good reason to make this gaudy as fuck necklace that's really, 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 really expensive and so fancy? Oh my god. Every time I thought of proposing.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Because I'm just too damaged to accept love into my heart like that.
It definitely feels like trying to play into like the like lover boy who couldn't find, like it definitely feels like that. Oh my god. And you know, when I think about it's funny too when you look at these two images, right, and you like and I feel like the Liam Payne thing too, where it's like if I just saw that necklace, it's gaudy, but like as a rich rapper, I was like, that's kind of cool, right? Like to have like a diamond.
It looks
piece.
like a 2006 belt. And you know what? You can get that for $20.
You can. You absolutely can. Versus you have, which I've always been like enamored with this piece from Kendrick Lamar, from his Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album, in which he has a crown of thorns, but it's like iced out, and
that looks cool as
it's so
shit.
fucking cool. I wish I fucking had it.
That looks
it's so cool. It's such a
That's cool. That's what,
yeah.
Why are you wearing that?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
yeah.
That's not even a cool way to use diamonds, which also dumb. Diamonds are dumb.
Dumb.
They're not even like a status symbol anymore. They're not even like, wow, I have money. They're just like,
yeah.
Oh, you're fiscally an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That cool.
Yeah.
Cool
now,
as an art piece.
I do want you to know, if you guys are thinking about proposing to Parilani here, you do need to get her a diamond, though. You fucking broke boys. So, no, you do. I don't care what you do else, but you got to get her a diamond, okay? Yeah, you fucking brokies. Yeah.
And then, when I turn you down, you have to put that diamond into a necklace.
That is so fucking funny. That is so funny. I had to tell you about that because I was like, there's no way she knows about this fucking necklace.
I had no idea.
Yeah, actually,
I'm
crazy.
like insulted. I don't even care about fashion or jewelry or. I mean, I care about rocks, I guess, but like, not in the sense that I'm like.
Rocks is so funny.
That I'm like a jewel hoarder, but like I care about like.
Yeah.
Crystals and elements and like geology and etc. And I'm just like. Offended.
Oh, there you go. Now you have it.
I'm so mad.
God.
That's so upsetting.
He's just a crystal girly, if you think about it.
Their label to damage his reputation,
So
preventing
upsetting.
him from being able to do the thing that will make not only Drake, but UMG, the company who's funding him, more money. Do you really think that they think that they'll be making and recouping more money off of the Not Like Us record than they will off of another 4 or 5 Drake albums?
So, like,
Use
this
your
is
head.
fashion.
And that isn't me
This
saying
whole
that
thing
UMG
is
has never
art.
enacted in bot practice
This
or
is-
no label
Why
or
don't you respect
Spotify
me?
hasn't, but I just don't believe that they decided.
It's like the HR meme. Hey there's good looking. Oh my gosh. Hi. HR. Yeah, 100%.
Today, the only person that's going to be a beneficiary of that system is Kendrick fucking Lamar. We didn't do it for anybody else in the past, especially not Drake. We're just going to do it for this guy. Why? Drake is in this lawsuit complaining about how big of a monopoly UMG has over the music industry, how they own so much catalog, how it's impossible to get ahead unless you are within UMG's system. One of the biggest beneficiaries within that same system that he's complaining about is also the same guy saying that he's advocating for the little guy. What are you talking about? How are you going to say this team sucks while you're wearing the fucking jersey? And it's not like going to a job and you find out that the staff and the people there are corrupt and terrible. Like 3 months in, Drake has been with UMG since 2009. That's before some of you niggas that are watching this video were even born. So I could give him grace and be like, that sucks. You just got in your contract and you found out that you're with corrupt people, but you've been with these people over half my life, dissed and said unverifiable things about so many other artists and never had an issue with them. Not
he was like, this is news to me that they suck.
Are you guys like a mega corporation?
I
Like
had
maybe
no
a little evil?
idea.
That's weird.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
I wish I would have known that.
God.
You know, I'm a victim of anything.
Forcing this
I couldn't believe he's that dumb.
enforceable part of their contract where they can censor you.
got so
This is
much
all
grace in her.
irredeemable.
I love that.
You know, at this point, I don't want to hear no records
I
from
find
Drake
ways.
talking about I'm this, I'm that. I don't want to hear the underdog story. I don't want to hear, oh yeah, I tried to drop a 3-pack and they treated me like I'm Mike Jack. Like, no, I'm tired of these bars, bro. You're not a victim. I think what happened at Drake's residence could 100% have been partially influenced by the beef back and forth with Kendrick. I do. I don't see how that's UMG's problem. I don't see how that's Kendrick's problem. I thought that this was going to give me some more clarity, but I think bro is just doubling down on the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen
100%
in hip hop.
I think the worst part about it from his standpoint is that like it's believable. That dumb story is a believable story. for him. Like, it's a believable story for, like, it's believable that Drake would have thought about proposing to 42 women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like
it could also not be 42 women. It could just be 42 times to 3 women.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that
because
too.
he can't accept love into his heart because he's so damaged.
Oh,
so he never
yeah.
popped the questions.
You know what? You're right. I never thought about like that.
It would legitimately be cool if it was like, I got turned down this many times, and so I did something about it. I turned it into art. Except that would be humiliating. Why would you admit to that?
42 is so many times.
So many times.
Especially because I'm sure there's plenty of people that would marry Drake, even with him being shitty. You know what I mean? Like, he's a very rich person.
For sure.
Attractive.
There's white
talented.
women that voted for abortion. We know that there's...
So true. That's so fucking true.
For
Absolutely
sure.
Nuts. My God. That's hilarious. Well, that's Drizzy Drake for you guys. He's a dum-dum, all right? And we love him for that.